The most satisfying, I think, right, and it sounds weird, when it gets a big deflection and goes in.
Why?
Because you always just think it never happens to you. So I like getting big deflections. Big, dirty, juicy deflections. I love them.
It's a joy to welcome a gent whose powerful left foot delivers true moments of joy and wonder. Well, because it's attached to a man who's not afraid to pull up from the logo and just have a go. He lives to shoot and score before defenders even have time to ask themselves, he's not going to take a shot from there, is he? The captain of Aston Villa on their magically unrelenting climb towards the top of the Premier League table this season. The pride of Clydebank, Tom Hanks' favourite. It's Mr. John McGinn.
Hello, Roger. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. I'm not going to lie, I was welling up there.
It's all unbelievably true, and it has been magnificent to watch you, John McGinn. Your team are currently second in the Premier League table. Villa Park has become the most intimidating thing in Birmingham since Black Sabbath broke up. And your Villa side, they haven't lost a game at home since last February. Can you describe the emotional feeling that comes over you when you walk onto that field, that cauldron, and you hear 40,000 people singing, "We've got Super John McGinn"? What's that feel like?
It's an incredible feeling. Villa Park's one of the traditional old grounds. You feel the character bursting out it. Everyone always speaks about it. They love playing at Villa Park. I mean, I've experienced the time where things haven't been great. So you see the murmurs, the expectation, the pressure. But thankfully now we've turned that into a positive, and the expectation and the pressure is on the away side to break what is a brilliant record.
I mean, this transformation that you're talking about has been bloody amazing to watch from afar, John. You've seen it from the inside. You've worked at Villa Park under 3 Englishmen, but now a singular Basque, a detailed, obsessive gent, Unai Emery. He's come on this show, and despite that, he's still been able to transform the club. He's lifted Villa from 14th place finish in the season before he arrived. You're now in second. Can you describe from the inside how you've lived that revolution? What's Unai really like? And what are the most important things he's done to propel such a magical turnaround?
It's very similar to what you actually described. You can say it, I can't. But he's very, very driven, detailed, so determined to succeed. And he just won't stop. He said on day one, I won't stop until I get success. I just won't stop. And thankfully he's lived up to that billing. And he's had the same enthusiasm from minute one to this minute. I don't know how he does it. I know he has a very strong coffee in the morning, which I don't see because I like my sleep, so I'm one of the last in, believe it or not. But he has a very strong coffee, and I think that just charges him on. I don't know what he gets up to at home. He must just chill out or do something.
Best not to think about it, John, to be honest.
But he just loves football. That kind of passes on to the players, and that's why we've had a big turnaround.
You make him sound like he's always 7 double espressos in, but his analysis, his tactical meetings, Unai Emery, they become legendary for their length. The man is essentially the Christopher Nolan of coaches. These meetings, they're said to be up to 75 minutes long, but you've also proudly reported that only once has a player had to get up and leave to go to the bathroom. Parents everywhere would love to know the answer to this question. What is the secret to keeping players who are not used to this kind of fastidious, meticulous, detailed, tactical brilliance, keeping you engaged, interested and taking it all in?
Well, I'm proud to report that this morning, we broke a record on that. It was longer than 75 minutes, which is probably why the interview is late.
It's only Everton. What could you
No,
put?
it was nothing to do with Everton. That's still to come. We'll analyse the team we're playing either on the day of the game or the day before. This was on a previous game. A game we kind of threw away, I think. I don't need to hide, it was the Man United game where we were 2-0 up at half time. And the way he does it, it's amazing. He just captures you. And like I said, only one person is asked to go to the toilet. But you wouldn't want to miss it. You're learning, why did we not win that game? Why did we not win the game? And he's just painted a clear picture as to why we never. And it's up to us to, if we get in that situation again, we're better prepared certainly to go into it.
You can tell me, John McGinn, no one's watching this. Why was it?
Why? Just decisions we made. We went in with a game plan, and the first half, the 2 goals, well-worked set pieces, which we do a lot of work on. So they were perfect. However, our actual gameplay from minute 1 to minute 90 during that was a shadow of ourselves this season. Normally we play a certain way and you could look at a game and you could recognise us as a team. That game was just unrecognisable. And I think alongside that, the way we played that day sort of played into everything Man United have, and that's pace and quality, and they managed to bounce back. And it's certainly 3 points dropped in our eyes, but we're realistic and respectful as to how good a side Man U can be on their day.
One of the sights of the season, I've got to tell you, John, is seeing you marauding forward, 7 goals this campaign. You're so bloody fearless. You're willing to have a go from way downtown, from unexpected positions, like that turnaround and shoot switchblade that you smashed past David Raya during your 1-0 win over Arsenal. You're shooting. It's like Barry Pepper in the Bell Tower, peerless. How have you developed that shooting technique? Where does it come from? Is it like premeditated? Is it practice situations? Or is it just instinct?
A bit of everything. The Arsenal one was instinct. I think before I used to shoot from very far out at the wrong moments. But a lot of the staff here do a lot of work on the time to shoot, the time to pass. I mean, it's not going to be perfect every time. I've always had the power there. I've always had the power in my left foot, but I've never really used it to my advantage. But now more, I'm side footing it. Basically, Austin, my big mate, my big Scottish compatriot, the set piece coach, he done a lot of work with me that I have enough power. So he's got this system that they use in the golf called TrackMan. So you've seen it at the driving range and you see the golfers use it. So we're using it out there in football terms. And basically I have got enough speed on my side foot that I don't need to lace it. So we actually managed to do a lot of work on that. And thankfully it's kind of paid dividends. There's been a couple of goals this season where instead of putting the laces through it, it's been a side foot and it's been enough power.
Mentally, do you clear your mind, or what are you thinking? Because you never think about Rosie.
No, I don't know. I think that moment it just kind of freezes and you know exactly what you're doing. I think when you line up a shot, you always envisage it's going in the top corner, always, whether that happens or not. The most satisfying, I think, right, and it sounds weird, when it gets a big deflection and goes in.
Why?
Because you always just think it never happens to you. So I like getting big deflections, big dirty juicy deflections. I love them.
Oh, John McGinn, you're a mad sadistic bastard. But I've got to say, you talk about the power in your left foot. You also have power from the fact that you're built essentially like a Scottish Eden Hazard, with that large, powerful behind, one that Sir Mix-a-Lot would die for. And you've joked, you've said this yourself, if you didn't have your backside, you'd be playing at Yeovil. How have you become the player you are? Have you developed that particular set of skills? Would you have developed it if you were built differently down below?
No, I don't think I would be. I don't think I'd be in the Premier League with my body shape. Now, it caused a lot of problems in my career. It caused people to rub their noses up at me. I'm not athletic enough because I don't look like a footballer. So I don't look like an athlete. If you put me into an NBA team or an NFL team or ice hockey in America, they would go, "Who's this guy? Get back, sell with popcorn, mate." But no one in the league has my build, so why not use it to your strength? And I think, to be fair, this club has always been really open to it. When I signed here, you would lose count with the amount of clubs that didn't sign me based on my body shape, which was mental. So basically saying, "You're a wee chubby guy, you won't do it for us, we need to have someone that does this, does that." But that's why I'm so grateful at the time to Steve Bruce. He was an old-fashioned manager. He done his homework. He spoke to a lot of my old teammates, my old coaches, and decided their word of mouth. And he admitted to me he'd never seen me play, which was quite nice actually, because I could pleasantly surprise him. And thankfully, the hardest part, and I think there'll be people throughout Europe and America, all over the world, who will struggle with perception. And hopefully I've changed people's perception on body shape.
I love that. God loves Steve Bruce. He likes big shots and he cannot lie. John, last question. Your signature celebration after each goal is beautiful. You make a pair of goggles with your upturned fingers, a gesture that you've dedicated to your nephew Jack, who wears sports glasses when he plays in his own games in an attempt to make him feel less self-conscious. And I love it so much watching you. And I wanted to ask you, how much of a message is that not just about sports goggles, but about life itself. Don't listen to the haters. Be yourself. Walk your own path.
I think that I didn't realise when I said it, I was just being honest and saying what the celebration was about, but I didn't realise how many people came out and said it had an impact on their son. My son refused to wear them, now he'll wear them. So I think you forget sometimes when you're in a position of being a role model, you forget the impact you can have on so many children and young people, and thankfully it's made me a bit more aware, open my eyes to things about how I can have a positive impact on people, whether it's playing football or maybe people have to wear goggles to, I don't know, play tennis or anything like that. I'm sure you have to wear goggles. Yeah, I was just about to saying that. But I remember being a young player, and if there was someone in the other team, you would describe him as the guy wearing the goggles, or Edgar Davids. Do you know what I mean? And looking back, you would think, why did I say that? Do you know what I mean? Because he's already self-conscious. So hopefully it can make people more aware.
John McGinn, you're a magnificent human being. Watching you soar, watching your club soar. And by the way, Godspeed to Scotland in the Euros. It's great to be
crossed.
with you.
Fingers crossed. Can I ask one question before you go? How have you got a Shakhtar Donetsk thing behind you?
How have you got such bloody good eyes? That is just up.
I don't need goggles.
That is just a tribute to Ukraine, all who love football, and all who love that nation in this dark time. You beautiful human being. Before you came on, you also took the piss out of my jacket, which I did appreciate.
I just said I couldn't pull it off.
Nor can I, mate. Nor can I.
I'll have it for my granddad's Christmas next year.
Godspeed, John.
Ernest.
Courage.